Welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am Elodie Novodatsky. I write about first times, second chances, things that scare the crap out of me, and things that make me laugh out loud. I'll be speaking with you and sharing my adventures in self-publishing, the behind the scenes of writing, and the business side of it. And before we get started today, a small message from our sponsor, Anchor. Thanks for listening. Hello, I am recording this episode on Sunday afternoon. It's freezing right now in Maryland. Well, actually, to be even more precise, it is below freezing. The chemical engineer and I finished watching Dexter the other day, and here again I thought the ending was a bit too fast, maybe a bit too rushed for one of the characters in terms of his motivation. The actor who plays Dexter, Michael C. Hall, explained in a Zoom interview that was quoted in the Los Angeles Times, what he thought about the previous season finale in detail. And since I don't want to spoil it, I'll just quote parts of that interview as it made me think and it made me smile a little. I'll post the link to the full article in the episode description. So he said, "People moan about an ending that was admittedly open-ended and without any sense of closure." He flashed a Dexter-like smile. "I guess you have to be careful what you wish for." We're about to start watching the last season of Insecure, and I'm still listening to White Smoke, and let me tell you, the comparison titles for this book are right on point. The comparison is The Haunting of Hill House meets Get Out in this chilling YA psychological thriller and modern take on the classic haunted house story. And it is so good. I have a bit over 2 hours left in the audiobook, and let's just say I don't listen to it at night by myself. While my own thrillers don't have the haunted house element, I cross my fingers that they suck the listeners in and the readers as much as this book is doing to me, because I want my readers and listeners to be able to want to turn the pages the same way Tiffany made me want to keep on listening. Like, it's very hard to stop listening to the audiobook. I'm actually looking forward to some chores that I usually don't look forward to, like laundry, folding laundry, when I get to listen to the book. And since I know my husband is listening to I know that I'm not the one who folded a lot of laundry this weekend, and I'm very grateful that you did. So I would love to know what book you're reading or listening to right now. Don't hesitate to leave me a voicemail and or send me an email at authorelodienovodatsky@gmail.com. Novodatsky is Nowods as dog Azkij. And the link to leave me a voicemail is in the episode description. Today is the monthly review. At the end of every month, I'm going to do a short recap about what has worked for me, what hasn't, on a productivity and organization level, on a financial level, and share some news that may not have made it to my regular weekly episodes. I'm also going to share what I've done to try to increase my royalties every week. So every week I do something that I cross my fingers will increase my royalties. And I usually don't share them in the weekly episode, so I'll do a recap every month about those different things that I'm trying to do. First thing first, something that I don't think I've mentioned in any of the episodes is that I may have teased it a bit last week, but I received an email and a draft contract for the Italian version of Firmi Firmi Not. And I'm very, very excited about it. I have a few questions to ask. So the contract is not signed yet. I do have a few things that I want clarified and also some suggestions that I want to make. But it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to discussing in more detail with the person who sent me the contract. The book has already been translated via BibleCube and got some great reviews, but it's not available in libraries and bookstores, and I haven't been able to do a marketing push for it. This opportunity might enable me to actually have the Firmi Firmi Not Italian version in libraries and bookstores, and will also enable me to possibly have the publishing house that sent me the contract make a marketing push for it, which would be great. It might also help my other Italian books. When it comes to the one thing a week I'm doing to help my royalties, this is what I've done this month in January 2022 and how well it worked. Or not. Week 1, I created a box set of the Gathered City series, including Fear Me Not, See Me Not, Trust Me Not, since I want to publish the next one, Miss Me Not, in the fall of this year. Creating the box set included, formatting it, coming up with the cover, the blurb, and everything else. I published the ebook in KDP Select for Kindle Unlimited and also published the paperback version. The results? Well, so far, no pages read. So there is that. I also did not advertise it. I did mention it on my blog and I did mention it in my newsletter. But even in my newsletter, I don't think I've really pushed it. I just said I've published it in KU. The reason why I haven't pushed it really yet is that I am going to do a bigger push. I guess that's the word I'm going to use. Once I run a promo on it. So once I lower the price for a limited amount of time, then I will post it more on Facebook. I might try to get a BookBub or, a bargain Booksy or something, and then try to get sales so then more people see it, that it rises up in the rank. And then I have maybe more KU subscriber once they see it in the rank who borrow it and then read it. So I get pages read. What I need to do is that I do need to get some reviews on it, and some readers have already read all books, like the 3 books that are in the box set. So maybe they'll be inclined to review it. The other reason I did a box set is because Megan Carter is narrating Trust Me Not. And so together we'll also publish the box set as an audiobook on Audible. So not only, each individual audiobook, but there will be also a box set of the 3 audiobooks together. We're doing royalty share plus for it. So I'm crossing my fingers that, and I won't only cross my fingers, I'll also do some work for it to make sure that more listeners know about it once all of those books are published. Week 2. The goal for week 2 was to publish the bilingual audiobook English-French. So the One Dream Only audiobook in English and French, with Megan Carter narrating the English version and me narrating the French version. For the audiobook, I do 1 chapter in French, 1 chapter in English. And then I also have the PDF of 1 chapter in English, 1 chapter in French. So that took longer than I had anticipated because Findaway Voices rejected the metadata several times, like the opening credits and the closing credits. 2 times because I did mess up something. I got it to work. I asked for more feedback. I realized the one thing that I was doing wrong on that one, and then changed it, updated it, re-uploaded it, and then it went through. And then it stopped again and I had to resubmit it because that was my fault. I had mixed up 2 different chapters, but it is published now, even if it did end up stretching into week 3. The goal for week 3 was to publish the Italian version of One Dream Only and the Italian version of 1, 2, 3. So Natalia's story, my YA, one of my young adult books. And the Italian versions were already published on Amazon, but they were not published on Draft2 Digital and they were not published in Google Play. So I had them in Kindle Unlimited before. I removed them from Kindle Unlimited. And the reason why I removed them from Kindle Unlimited is because the Italian version of A Summer Like No Other and of Always Second Best is doing very well wide. So I figured, okay, why not have more books available wide in Italy then? So I had to make a few changes, and then I had to make a few changes to the cover. But I got it done. And so far, there has been a few downloads of the free copies of Il mio unico sogno, which is One Dream Only in Italian. and we'll see if it translates in sales for the Italian version of 1, 2, 3 in the coming weeks. There's always a lag between the moment somebody downloads a free book and then somebody actually buys the follow-up. The task for week 4 was to publish the French-Portuguese version of One Dream Only, and to do it with the author name Duo Bilingue, because this is what I've decided to use for my bilingual books from now on. And I did it. I just finished it before recording this episode, and as always, formatting was a bit of a pain. And I noticed one paragraph had gotten copied and pasted twice as I was going through the paperback on KDP. Once you upload the cover and you upload the interior of your book, then you can preview it. And I was previewing it to make sure that it was really one page, because for the paperback, what I do is one page in one language and another page in the corresponding text, but in the different language. So, for example, one page with the text in English and then the exact same text but translated into French on the opposite side. So I noticed a few things happening and I had to correct it, but I managed to finish the formatting. I had started formatting this book, the one page and one page a couple of weeks ago, and then I finished that during the week and then did the rest of it yesterday and today. I uploaded it on Draft2Digital, Amazon and Google Play as an ebook, and then on Amazon as a paperback. So since I just published it, I cannot tell you how well it's going to help me in terms of royalties, but I will keep you updated. The things that have worked well for me this month. So having a Summer Like No Other free, perma-free in other languages and being wide with them, so on all platforms, has really helped the sales of the second book, because A Summer Like No Other is the first book in Nick and M's story, and then Always Second Best is the second book in that particular series. And so the French, German, and Italian versions are currently perma-free. Most recently, the French and the Italian version became free. And this month, the French and the Italian version of Always Second Best, so the second book in the series, are my best-selling books for the month. Plus, the English version, which has been perma-free now for several years, continues to bring sell-throughs to the next book, to Always Second Best. It's always something that I'm very amazed about, because people seem to really love A Summer Like No Other. I'm not surprised that they love it. I wrote it. I love it myself, but that it continues years later to get so many downloads and then so many reviews and then sell-throughs for the second one, which really makes me think that the short story that I did for my newsletter subscribers, which was A New Year's Eve Like No Other, following Nick and Em in a different stage of their lives, that I should actually really turn this into at least a novella so that I could put it up for sale at the end of this year, towards the holidays. I'm still thinking about it. I have a lot on my plate already, but I think that could work, especially also for the other languages. So if I write it in English, and it's a novella, it's less expensive to translate because it's less words. I could sell it for $2.99 if it's a novella. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud right now. But yeah, this is something that I'm really need to sit down and decide if that could be something that I can find the time for. Not during those, not during this first quarter, definitely not. But maybe in the next one. We'll see. Learning-wise, being in more authors forums has been helpful for me. I'm learning a lot. And I registered for the Incon mini conference. I haven't watched the videos yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Writing-wise, I've been reading and listening to several craft books, Romancing the Beats, and Take Off Your Pants, Outline Your Books for Faster, Better Writing. And those have been very helpful to me, as well as talking to my critic partners. They have helped me, my critic partners, figure out the male main character in Sweets for Love. I was really trying to shove him into a box and keep him there, because he was supposed to be way more chilled than he currently is in the draft. And he was supposed to be so much more different than Aisling. Like, I thought I needed them to be so different so one could really truly learn from one another, but also that the conflict would be those differences, even though they are similar in a lot of other ways. But it's not working out. Like, it's just not happening. I was writing and I was trying to force it, and I was trying to make the male main character into something that he just refuses to be. So, after talking it through with my critic partners, and after brainstorming a little bit about some more conflicts that, my two main characters could have, and some of their character arc, I think I got it. And it's actually working very, very well. I did get a lot of words in this month on scenes that I knew what they were going to be about, but that was also what was frustrating, because those scenes, I was getting a lot of words, but my main character was not following the character arc I had planned for him. And I was worried that maybe what I did not want to do was that I didn't want to try to write a full draft to realize who he was, because I wanted to listen to my gut that was telling me that the way I wanted him to be was not the way that he was going to end up on the page, and that some of the things I had planned would not work as well because he was not authentic in a way. And yes, I know I'm talking about a character in a book that he's not real, but he needs to feel real when readers pick up the book. And I need to, when I'm writing, I can't ignore the little voice in my head or my gut feeling that something isn't right because it's not working the way it should. Instead of trying to have him more chill because it would work better for the character arc that I had planned for him on, during my little outline that I had done, and instead of having the character flaw that I thought he should have, then he's just gonna have another one. And I figure out which one it is, and as my critic partners have noticed and noted and explained and shown me that, they can be more similar and still have conflict. I mean, that happens a lot in books as well, where the characters are too similar to one another and they kind of clash. They can help each other in different ways. Because even though they might be more similar in certain aspects, they're also very different in others. And a lot of the words that I've written actually work because that's when I was discovering, that he was way different than what he was. And then I was trying to write or to rewrite. I was trying to revise the words that I had already written to fit my outline more, but that's not what I ended up doing. So I did make a lot of progress on the writing front. And I got an email from a French reader that made me smile. So, yay! And then, as mentioned last week, I'm coming up with a schedule for my social media platforms and trying out TikTok. This week, I will try to solely post bookish content, so not as much writing content. And I'll see how that works. I have my author TikTok, and then I also created months ago a business one for The Leftover Bride. I changed it today to a different username, which is Swans Cove Romance Books, and trying to post a few videos from that account as well. So to see if maybe that might help my sales. So I'm not going to run the two accounts. Like every day, I'm not going to post on both accounts. I'm going to keep on posting on my author account every day this week, less than last week though. And I'm going to try to post on the business account about 3 times this week and see how many views I get, see if I get any reads from it, because I'm not running any ads right now. I haven't run any ads this month, and I'm not running any ads right now. So if I see a spike in pages read or in sales, then that would be the only difference that I'm doing. And I'm talking about my English speaking books right now, because my other books, as I've mentioned, are selling well with the read through and are selling well on their own. But for my English speaking books, I want to see if that actually helps me. So I'm really loving this monthly review. that I started. And I'm definitely planning on doing it every month. I'm also getting ready to plan the 4 things I'm going to do next month to try to increase my royalties. And I will keep you updated on how they work, if they actually work, and what may not have worked as well as I intended it to. And I will also keep track of all the things, that I've mentioned today and see how they work in the future. Because as I think I've mentioned several times before, being between publishing a new book or trying something new, the results, it doesn't happen instantly. So since it doesn't happen instantly, then I need to make sure that I follow through so that I really know what has worked and what hasn't. As always, if you have any questions for me, you can either send me an email at author.elodinovodetsky@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail. The link is in this episode description as well as my website. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and review and share with your friends. And if you're wondering how you can support this podcast of mine, so if you're a romance reader, you can try one of my books or audiobooks. Or if you're not a romance reader, or if you are and would like to do something else, you can also become a monthly supporter, or you can even buy me coffee. Links are on my website at www.elodinovodetsky.com. Novodetsky again is Nowodazkij, and I've noticed that the past couple of times I have not spelled my first name because clearly everybody knows how Elodie is spelled. So Elodie, just in case, is spelled E, L as Laura, O as Orange, D as Dog, I as Ireland, E as Elephant. I was gonna say Elodie. I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whenever you're listening to this podcast. And to all writers out there, happy writing. And to everyone, happy, happy reading.